after having brought the first major upgrade of the season to the Imola Grand Prix in the form of their SF-24 Evo. Ferrari are not resting on their laurels and will be bringing a second upgrade in a row to the Monaco Grand Prix in the form of a rear ring as well as changes to the DRS actuator. Now, really, this shouldn't come as a surprise to anyone because, as we all know, the Monaco Grand Prix, which is considered the crown jewel of the Formula 1 calendar, has a very particular set of requirements that a Formula 1 car needs, and is unlike pretty much any of the other Formula 1 tracks that we go to throughout a calendar season. That, of course, is maximum downforce levels, maximum load levels, and drag is not important in the slightest. And so for that, they've had to bring a completely new rear ring to the track. But what I want to stress is one thing. This will not be a rear ring completely designed around the Monaco street circuit. The budget cap will not allow any of the Formula 1 teams to actually create bespoke rear rings for these kind of outliers on the calendar, because if you really think about it, Monaco is, like I just said, one of the outliers, and you cannot waste your resources on creating a rear ring just for one race. And so what they're going to be doing more than likely is introducing a higher downforce package, which will of course include the early season rear ring, but probably with more gurney flaps, with a much more larger upper and lower element of that rear ring, just to of course increase the downforce levels and drag profile of the SF-24. And this is something we're going to be seeing up and down the grid. So this isn't necessarily what I would call a brand new upgrade package, but it has to be considered one because it is circuit specific. And as we can see throughout all of the races so far, whenever a team brings a circuit specific upgrade, whether it's a new rear ring or one that they've kind of just reworked to help with the downforce levels that they need for a certain track, it is considered as one. And so that's what they'll be doing. Now, of the rear wings that have been used so far this season, there's been two, and Ferrari have pretty much stuck to a very similar and modular level of rear wing that they've used throughout the entire season thus far. It's either been the launch spec that they've used at all of the races, minus last weekend in Imola, which of course, with the introduction of the major Evo package, introduced a brand new rear ring, which will of course then be used more than likely from Canada onwards. Now of course, every Formula 1 driver when it comes to Monaco wants to feel as comfortable as they possibly can, because it's something where you have to build up lap through lap the confidence to get closer and closer to the rules, to get on the power a little bit more, to take that extra 0.5% that they're leaving on the table at the beginning of the weekend. And for that, of course, you need a car that has maximum downforce, maximum load, really good on the brakes, stable braking, and of course, fantastic traction. Now, not every car has all of these traits within them. Some will have some of them, some will have other aspects of those. And that's when it's really important for a car. I feel the Ferrari has a really strong braking system like it did last year. And that's something Carlos Sainz mentioned a hell of a lot towards the back end, is that particular point of the SF-23. He didn't want that to be lost when, creating the SF-24. Because as we saw, even though the Ferrari last year, the SF-23 was not that competitive against their competitors like the RB19 and the MCL60, I think it was called at that point because of the 60th anniversary. When it actually came to Monaco and, actual bona fide street tracks, they were extremely competitive. They took pole in Singapore with Carlos Sainz, and Charles Leclerc for last year's Monaco Grand Prix came in third on the grid. So less than a tenth as well, I might add, behind the pole position time from Max Verstappen. And I think with this Ferrari car being extremely much more competitive and an all-round car than that of last year's, I really expect them to be able to push for pole position, and of course, as a consequence of getting that, the race win. So be on the lookout for how this all takes shape and unfolds throughout the Monaco Grand Prix weekend from Friday onwards. I think pretty much out the block they're going to be quick, particularly Charles. I think he's a lot more at home in this latest upgraded version of the SF-24. Sainz was looking a little bit behind the bar when it came to the ultimate lap time that you can extract from that upgraded SF-24 in Imola. And of course, everything has to revolve around qualifying, and so Ferrari are going to really have to pay attention on unlocking that one lap pace, which is something they've not been able to do at all really this season. They've been very much off the boil with that. It's not one of the strong traits of this car. It's something which is flipped around, and of course that's had a really positive impact on race pace. But around the streets of Monaco, if you don't qualify on pole, you're not going to win, because you can't dictate the pace and you cannot overtake. And so race pace goes out the window. No one cares about that. It's not important. It's about being able to be as quick and as confident within the car for that final lap in Q3 in the last couple of minutes, when you have to ace it and get that pole position. So it's going to be really interesting to see how this whole plays out, how the Monaco weekend progresses for the team, and whether they can actually unlock some qualifying performance, which is something we've yet to see. So I'm really interested to see how that happens. Right guys, thank you all for watching. If you've enjoyed it, leave a like, comment down below, subscribe if you're new, and turn on notifications. Right everyone, I'll catch you all in another Formula 1 video shortly.